Hello and welcome to the first Seagulls Social podcast. I am your host, Maz, and we've got my co-host, Ben.
What's up?
And we've got Ryan.
Hello.
And yeah, this is officially our first podcast. So yeah, everyone tuning in, we hope you enjoy it. So just this pod is going to be all about sort of getting to know us. So, you know, who we are, what we're about, sort of why we started this podcast. And of course, we are going to be going on to things such as looking back on the Brighton versus Man United game, as well as the preview on the Everton game as well. So we've got a lot to go through. Hopefully you guys are ready. I know Ryan and Ben are as well. So let's get sort of straight into it.
Love it.
Let's go.
So first of all, I just wanted to sort of explain why I personally wanted to start this podcast. So, of course, I wrote you two into the podcast, gave you both a little message saying, look, I want to do this simply because a couple of reasons. I personally love content creation, probably get into that a little bit more later on. But yeah, I just love sort of, creating content, whether that be YouTube, whether that be for work, whatever it might be. Love doing it. And of course, I support Brighton, so I thought, why not just put the two together? So, you know, it was quite simple for me. And yeah, it's just my passion and something I enjoy doing, really. So yeah, what about you, Ben? Why did you want to come into this project? You know, give it your all.
Well, so we're definitely in the same kind of field and industry-wise, Matt. So I agree with a lot of what you said. I love creating content. I have done for a long, long time now, even though I'm 24. I think that's young still, isn't it? And the other reason...
You make me feel like a baby, Ben. Oh, my
Ryan
God.
says otherwise. Other than that, I'm self-obsessed, so I want everyone to hear my opinion about Brighton. And my mum loves seeing me on YouTube, so it's a win-win here.
Yeah, love it. What about you, Ryan?
Quality. Well, I think people who'll be watching this obviously will know me from Twitter or Instagram. Done Instagram for years. Done a lot of videos on sort of Copper90 and a few other socials. So I thought it was always something I wanted to do. Obviously, Maz, when you messaged me on Twitter asking for another host, I thought, well, I've got to do it because it was something I wanted to do anyway. So we're all doing the same sort of thing. So obviously I'm a bit younger than you boys, but
stop it.
Yes, it's the same sort of pathways, really, isn't it?
Yeah. No, of course. Like, yeah, I thought it was just like getting you guys together would be great, just because we've all got our own skills and qualities, and bringing all that together to make a pod just made sense. So no, honestly, I couldn't have picked two guys to do it with, you know, and no one better. So
Thanks,
it should be good. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think people listening will definitely enjoy what we've got to come. We've got guests coming on. It's going to be us talking about all things Brighton, and whether that be, you know, anything outside of Brighton as well, you know, the handball rule, for example, or anything that's going on in the world of football that we've got an opinion on, we'll definitely be giving it to you. So you guys are
oh my God, my Wi-Fi went in, guys. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. No worries.
I think you're there the whole time, though, hopefully.
It'll be all good. It'll be all good.
Right.
It'll be all good.
Yeah,
So,
good.
right. So let's just get into, we actually put to Instagram a couple of questions. So people have sent in their questions to us. So just to learn a little bit more about us, why we're Brighton fans, you know, everything you guys wanted to know, you've sent it in via Instagram. So we're going to go through that now. So the first question, I'm going to give this one to you, Ben, to kick us off.
Let's go.
What is your first Albion memory?
Wow. Okay. So it is in the family stand of the Withdean. I went with my friend Callum Tully. Shout out, Callum. I hope you're listening, mate. Otherwise, we're not friends. And I remember, I think it was last game of the season. We just stayed up. Must have been like a League Two game or something. And my first memory is Jake Robinson coming to the
baller he was.
Water baller, coming to the family stand and just saying hello to everyone. And that was it. That was literally my first memory. I can't really remember anything else other than him coming right to the front row.
Beautiful game.
Yeah, what a beautiful game.
I bet you were as well.
Backdrop of the Withdean, all the trees, like no stands. The away fans like 4 miles away. And yeah, just Jake Robinson smiling at me. I think that was my first memory.
That's class.
Yeah. That's not bad.
What about you, Ryan?
For me, I mean, I got into football quite late, to be honest. I was normally people who are football fans got into football like as soon as they're born, you know? But yeah, I was like a football fan probably about 7. So around that time.
Not that late, but yeah.
My first... well, yeah, you know, it's like I always had my mates in school. They're all playing football way before I was, but probably a big regret of mine, to be honest. But my first real memories was back in with Dean about 2008-9. I'd say was my first sort of memories. Nicky Forster being an absolute beast. But yeah, that was that was a bit of a throwback. But yeah, for you guys, it's a bit further back.
Yeah, well,
that's the second time now, Ryan.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, come on, Ryan, less of that. Mate.
I did that one on purpose this time.
Yeah. But yeah, off the podcast, I remember you telling us that it was only the Amex years that you remember. So you're telling us fibs, Ryan, mate.
my memory doesn't go back that far. I've got to be honest. I mean, I don't remember what I did this morning, so I think you guys.
That's one thing we have in common now, Ryan, isn't it?
Yeah. And then finally, on to me then. My first ever memory, it was very similar to Ben's, I suppose. The with Dean, of course, was the first time I went and watched the Albion. And mine, funny enough, actually includes Jake Robinson as well. My most vivid memory anyway was when he scored a hat-trick against Northwich Victoria in the FA Cup. Or it was one of the cups. I believe it was FA Cup. Yeah, so he scored a hat-trick, and I remember, I was like, fair play, lad. Even though it was Northwich Victoria, who I don't think they exist anymore. But, I mean, not bad to grab yourself a hat-trick. And then the other sort of vivid one I had as well was the Millennium Stadium. Went and watched Bristol City Brighton when Leon Knight scored.
Ooh, did you?
So, yeah, that was a sick day. I went out with my dad and my sisters, and they weren't really into it, but they knew I sort of loved it, so got involved. So they were my two sort of big first memories, I suppose.
Decent.
So next question we've got from George Wayne. What's the best Brighton game you've ever been to? That's a good one. That we'll kick off with you, Ryan. What do you reckon was yours?
That's hard. That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
I'd say in terms of excitement, the one that had like everything in it, it was quite recent, but Sheffield Wednesday, 2017, I think it was, in the promotion season. That one, I think there was 3 red cards, a Murray handball, few awful tackles, but a double penalty save from Stockdale, and a late goal from Knockaert to seal it off. So I think that's got to be up there. One of the best games I think I've ever seen.
That was a very good one. That is, you kicked us off very well there.
The atmosphere was booming at Amex as well. Sorry, Ben.
Game wise, the first one that comes to me is when we beat Palace 3-0 at the Amex. But it was a sweet and sour one because I've been out the night before. This was like back in college, I think. Went back to this girls and that, and I had to go to the game. Right, I was with all my mates, and my family came to that game as well, which was even worse. So I went up to see my mates. We were all like 8 of us at the top of the West Stand. Had my hood up the whole game. And they're like, "Why have you got your hood up? Why have you got your hood up?" I had like love bites all down my neck, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever. But we won 3-0, so that was a good part. I then met my family in the stand afterwards and for a drink, and still had my hood up. And then they realised why. I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know where you were going with the sweet and sour part, but then now it all makes sense. I thought you were talking about Chinese at first, but it all makes sense now. That question will be in the next.
Yeah.
Go.
And then what about me? Let's think. Best Brighton game. Well, for me, it's got to be Pocognoli free kick. So it was actually I was at Liverpool Road. I was actually there, right? So listen to this. Now, this is for all you sort of diehard Brighton fans. I really apologise in advance for this one, right? But my best friend, got a name drop, Grant Hall. He's a professional footballer, and he played for QPR at the time. So he obviously got me tickets in the QPR end. So I was actually sat in the QPR end to see that Pocognoli free kick go in. Now inside, I was like, trying to like just contain myself.
How did you react?
Honestly, I was like giving it one of those, the little fist bumps. I was like, yeah. Then it was a bit awkward, but at least I could say I was there to see it, if that makes sense. But no, that
sweet and sour as well, Maz. We've got that.
Sweet exactly. It wasn't my finer moment in terms of like being a Brighton fan, because I was sort of felt I let myself down, being in the away end, in the home end of Loftus Road.
Never turned down free tickets, Maz.
No, exactly, mate. It's all about who you know, isn't it? That was a great moment, and
I've only ever done that once. I went to West Ham away, first season of the Premier League. I was sitting next to this kid in my law lesson, and we were sitting down, and he says to me, "Do you want to go to West Ham?" Bear in mind, I've only spoken to this kid once. He says, "Do you want to go to a game?" I was like, "What game?" I was like, "Who do you support?" So I'm a West Ham fan. The game's on Saturday. I was like, whenever it was, and I was like, Yeah, perfect. Brighton fan? No, West Ham. I was like, oh, right, okay. West Ham end. Had to watch us beat them 3-0. I think it was our first ever win away from home in the Premier League.
Mad.
And I'm watching Izquierdo score a banger into the top corner. And I was just like...
That was incredible.
It's funny you say
hard.
that. I've got a similar one, Ryan, to you. I went to the first game for Brighton when we went to Old Trafford in the first year of the Prem. I went with my brother. He's a Man United fan. And we were sat in the corner next to the Stretford end. And I remember the second half, Paul Pogba handballed it. And I stood up and just went, handball! And then I just realised my brother was like, shit, what are you doing? And I just looked to my right and Stretford end is literally right next to me. I was like, what have I just done? Just sat straight back down.
Did anyone react or not?
No one really reacts, thankfully. But that was just, I literally had in my hands. I thought, what have I just done?
Hearing you two say that, now I sort of wish I went a bit mental now. So, but next
I contained it just about.
Yeah. Well,
right, next one we got from Danny. When did you start supporting Brighton? So Ben, if you want to kick us off, you're probably going to say yesterday or something, aren't you?
Who, Brighton? Sorry. I would say properly. I guess when I got my season ticket with Dean, so that's when you properly started following them. Because back then it was just they were Brighton, didn't really have much interest in them apart from their local team. But me and my friends decided to all get season tickets because they were like £80 for each season, which is absolute bargain. It made maybe even cheaper for the younger teens. But year 8. So what would have been like 13 years old, maybe 12, 13. We all sat around 4 one morning and thought, let's do it. So we all got a season ticket and the rest is history.
As they say. And what about you, Ryan?
When did I start supporting Brighton? My dad was a fan from like the 70s. So he was always been, Brighton fan through and through. Tried to force me to go to games when I was little and I wasn't having it. I was like, nah, it's boring. But yeah, as I said, I think it was 2009. Whenever we got promoted to the Championship, was the first time I properly remember actually following a full season through.
Yeah.
So that was when I was proper into it, and then I started obviously getting used to watching football and appreciating it. I wouldn't say I appreciated football until around that time, to be honest. But rest is history, mate. Rest is history.
Yeah, not bad. Well, I've got a bit of a bombshell. I've got a bit of a confession to make. I want to stay true to myself. I want to stay true to myself, and to you guys. So when I first started getting into football when I was younger, when I was like 10, 11, whatever it was, I went to Barcelona with my family, and I actually got a Patrick Kluivert shirt. And the Barcelona kit, old school, proper, absolute baller, Patrick Kluivert. And I was like, okay, I support Barcelona now. And you can ask your brothers, Ben, you can ask anyone who knew me back then. I was a big sort of Barcelona fan. But obviously, I lived in Brighton my whole life. Been with Dean, etc. Obviously, went and watched the Bristol game, played in the playoffs. So I sort of just gradually then around the time when I went to sort of the big game when Leon Knight scored. And that's around the time I sort of started getting into Brighton. So I had dual teams. So I had the Barca and the Brighton teams, which is
so everyone. Let me just interrupt. So welcome to Maz's first and last ever episode of Seagulls Social.
We'll be taking over.
If you want to be the next co-host, just DM us on Instagram at Seagulls Social or Twitter, same handle. It's been nice knowing you, Maz. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks, lad. Thanks for the vote of confidence anyway. But no, so obviously I sort of, as I got older and actually realised, support your local. The within days and above. That was when I started supporting Brighton, I suppose. So that's a little bombshell for you guys. I can sense the awkwardness already. Right, next one. What players would you bring back to the current squad that no longer play for Brighton? And that's from Brett. So Ryan, who would you bring back?
Are we talking in their primes, or are we talking just as they were when they were playing for us?
Let's go prime. Why not? Let's go prime.
In their primes,
yeah.
I think Murray's always. I know he's just left, but he's always got to be there.
Yeah.
Zamora as well. Imagine them two up front
is online
in
though,
their primes. Yeah, but he's good as gone, isn't he? He put a thing out saying he's got. He said he put a tweet on, didn't he, saying signing off at 111 or whatever he scored.
Oh,
so,
fair.
Yeah. Murray and Zamora in their prime up front.
Zamora's got to be
would be deadly, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, agreed. I don't know. I think For me personally, Vicente was just when he came, he had an absolute one of a left peg, and he was incredible. Like he I think personally for me as a Brighton fan, it was the first time I got properly excited about a signing in my time.
Yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
like in my sort of time spent at Brighton. And like when we signed him, I was like, "What, ex-Valencia?" And I'll never forget as well. Like he was linked with like Real Madrid for 30 million. And all
it's crazy,
and all the crazy teams, and then he ended up at Brighton. I was like, well,
I remember that window.
So for me, I think Vicente's got to be up there. And finally, Ben, from you.
So I would have said Vicente, purely because of what you just said. But to mix it up a bit, I remember Will Buckley when he was on fire, and right now that's probably what we need. Maybe I suppose we probably do need a striker more, but I guess just Will Buckley in his prime, absolute roadrunner, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, to be fair. He wasn't actually that bad.
And he scored so good at crossing a ball as well. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He was so good at crossing the ball. When he used to run down, he would beat everyone because he was so quick. And then he'd get to the byline and he'd just chip over it, a perfect ball, as if it's just completely nothing. Yeah. And I remember just being so excited by him. It's just a shame his injuries just ruined him. His hamstrings were made out of rubber, weren't they?
Yeah. By the way, honourable mention as well for me. It's got to be Bass Savage. What a player he was.
Superstar, wasn't he?
I'm joking. Nah, but he had some sick dance moves. So,
he was like the original Akinfenwa, because he was like the first not very well known footballer to become famous from a TV show.
No, agreed. Yeah, no, definitely. He was a sick guy. I remember him just doing. What, didn't he do the moonwalk whenever he scored?
Yeah, that was it. The moonwalk. Yeah,
incredible scenes. Yeah, right. Next question. Besides football, do you play or watch any other sports? So, Ben, any other sports, mate?
Well,
I mean, you're terrible at. Can we just put it out there just before we carry on?
Oh wow,
Ben,
okay.
if anyone's ever watched Ben play football, he is shocking. So as long as
can you confirm, Ben? Is this true?
I can tell he's fuming.
I haven't seen you play, mate, so I don't know.
Fuming. No, I'm going to be honest. There will be a few people listening to this podcast and go, "Yeah, Maz is absolutely right." But again, I'm self-obsessed, massive ego. I'm great at football. What are we talking about, Maz?
Sorry, I don't know why. I was actually really uncalled. I was really uncalled for, so I apologise for that.
That's right. I'm going back to the question. Going back to the actual question, Maz. Thank you. Yeah. I would say I'm one of them people that says I like American sports, but I always say, okay, next year I'm going to watch the NFL. I'm going to do the Sunday nights. I'm going to do that. And same with basketball, and I never do. But I'd say I do keep an eye on basketball and NFL, but I can't really say that I'm a massive follower of it. So strictly football, really, at the moment, I would say. What about you guys?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much touching on the American sports sort of angle. I'm exactly the same. I say exactly the same. I hate NFL. Really? I think it's too slow. It's just too many breaks, too slow. Just not for me. But basketball, I do love basketball. And then I'm trying to think of any other sport. I do like my tennis as well. Occasionally, like watching it and playing it. And then I'm trying to think. I'll be honest. Yeah, I love my sports. Whether there's some I don't like NFL and your slow sports. But NBA I'll probably say is a second to football, just because of the NBA 2K game. To be honest with you, but that's me. What about you, Ryan?
I would say Ryder Cup, and then that's it. Yeah, go Ryan. No, you answer, but Ryder Cup for me. Love that.
For me, I'm opposite to you guys. I'm not an American person. I like quite a lot of. I like basically anything. So I guess I like boxing. I love boxing a lot. I watch a lot of fights.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. How
I don't know. My brain.
Ryan's absolutely ruined us.
I love boxing. I like watching darts every Christmas. Whether you guys do or not, I don't know, but I do love the darts.
I'm not a big fan of the sport. It's like technically, well, first of all, I don't technically believe it is a sport. Quite controversially, I don't class it as a sport, but I get the allure of it and why people want to watch it and sort of be involved with it. I do get that.
I'd say, darts for me at Christmas is just unbeatable when it's on Sky Sports and you've got Michael Van Gogh and hitting 180. Darts, cricket as well. I like cricket. Only recently, I didn't used to, but I've got into it recently. Cricket, darts, boxing, tennis as well. I like watching Wimbledon, all that sort of thing. Basically, I just like anything, to be honest. If there's sport on, I'll give it a watch, athletics, all sorts.
Yeah.
Well, actually, rugby, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of rugby. That could be
Yeah.
controversial, but I just don't really get it enough to like it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's cool. All right, so going on to the next one, we have got should the club bring back Gully's Girls, and that's from Brett Stevens. Now, just judging from Ben's and Ryan's reactions, this is going to be very interesting. So we'll kick off with you, Ryan. Do you reckon we should bring back the Gully's Girls?
I mean, straight away.
The thing is, it's a bit of a sticky one for me because I was what, 10.
Sticky one's
Ryan.
I was 10, so I didn't really appreciate anything.
Please,
but obviously, a lot of things happened. So for that reason, I'll say no.
For that reason, I'm out.
Yeah, for that reason, I'm out.
But you know, I was young, so at the time, I just thought it was like you know, it's what happens. You know,
yeah,
people
fair.
dancing or whatever. Team comes up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. For me personally, I just feel like it was a bit of a novelty, and it was a bit. Okay, I mean this with the greatest respect. I don't want to be harsh or
Clips,
be
get the clip
disrespectful.
ready.
Yeah, no, but what I'm going to say. So I think personally, like it's just not needed. Like with all due respect, what does it bring to the spectacle? What does it bring to the game? Really, you know, like it's just detracts from the actual game of football. For me personally, I just want to go to the stadium, watch the game, enjoy it, leave. I don't need all that. You know, like the American football, they do all these halftime shows and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I'm an old school, get in the stadium, watch the sport, enjoy it.
I agree.
Get
Couldn't
out.
agree more.
Definitely. So yeah, that's me. And finally, just quickly with you, Ben, what do you reckon?
I loved it. Plain and simple. It made the Withdean what it was. You know?
Oh my God, Ryan's doing the Neil Warnock. He can't believe it. He's doing Neil Warnock.
That's going to be clipped, isn't it?
You know, I got my baguette before half time just so I could... No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Gully's Girls, they were great, but you can't do it now. I don't... Well, can you? I think America does it. I think
Palace do it. I'm pretty sure Palace still do it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. I know what you mean. We're in a very PC world right now, aren't we? And yeah, I don't think it will get past.
It couldn't happen now.
Yeah, I don't think it will get past. So yeah. Anyway, swiftly moving on because we're probably in a lot of trouble as it is. So this is from Phoebe Soromicum. I believe I'm saying that correctly. What do you love most about football? So either of you. So we'll go Ryan. Go on, Ryan. You kick us off.
Yeah, go on, Ryan.
What I love most about football. I mean, I just love like the way you can. I mean, we're not going anymore, but throughout my whole sort of life since I've got into football, I've just gone to games, and it's just the best thing, in my opinion, in the world. I get excited for a Saturday or Tuesday. Whenever it's on, it's just like, I'm going tonight. And I love it. As soon as you're there, you're in that sort of zone. Nothing else matters apart from what's going on the pitch, you know? For me, that's what I love most about it. I love the whole support your local, support the team you watch as a kid. Obviously, for us, it's a lovely success story. We've come up from the ruins to the Premier League. But even if we were going down, you know, it's just that whole, I love that. That's what I love most about football.
I very much echo that, to be honest with you. I don't really have anything else to add onto that. What about you, Ben? I'm with Ryan on that one.
Yeah, no, very much the same. Maybe I'll expand it a bit more. I think the beauty of football, that was it, wasn't it? Well, no, why do you love football? But I love the football. Yeah. I love the football. I love football because you can talk to some random bloke from Carlisle about football. It doesn't matter if he's called Carlisle.
Yeah.
You can talk to anyone. It gives you connection to anyone. I also love the fact that whoever you support, there's a community, whether it's online or actually at the stadium or your local community. It brings people together, and I think not many things do that these days. So football is like the last touch.
Football's the winner here.
Football's the winner.
Football's always the winner.
Football's always the winner here. That was very. I got a bit emotional there, Ben. I thought you were going to start like an advert or something.
I was born at Carlisle.
Born in the Royal Navy. I'm pretty much on the same. Yeah, same thing really. You know, we can all relate to it. But you know, my biggest grinder is if in the office if one of the guys or whoever it might be, whoever you're speaking to, doesn't support a football team, you're like, well, what am I meant to speak to you about now?
So it kills it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just kills the vibe. I'm like, cheers.
What do you talk about?
Cheers for nothing.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one. I want to try and sort of reel these off. Where did your passion? I suppose we sort of covered this one, but we'll quickly go through it anyway. Where did your passion for being a social media content creator come from? So I'll kick us off for this one, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please, mate.
So my passion, I've always from college times, big up Cardinal Newman when I was at Cardinal Newman College and school. Obviously, I used to do the paper, like writing the match reports for the sort of local paper thing for Newman. So I used to do that, and then I sort of just from there, I just always wanted to be involved in football. And thankfully, I went to uni, studied sports media. Did all that jazz. Did a couple of non-paid work. Did at the Amex with Latest TV. Did that was good fun.
Oh.
With Jules Breach, if anyone's listening that knows Jules Breach from BT Sport.
If Jules is listening.
Jules, if you're listening,
Jules Breach.
Yeah, big up and come on the pod. We'd love it. So did a lot of sort of unpaid work and stuff within sort of the industry. And then did random stuff sort of from the age of sort of 20 to 25 in terms of odd jobs and stuff I didn't want to be doing basically. And then I got my big break, so to speak, for Odds Bible. Working for them and creating football content essentially. As a job. So I essentially get paid to watch football and make memes. So it could be worse. That is pretty much living the dream, to be honest. So, and what about? I know obviously, Ryan, your story is a little bit different to mine. Obviously, you're much younger than me. So, what about you? Where did your passion come from?
I mean, I started doing Talk Seagulls when I was 12. I was 12, 2013, and I found the phone this morning, my iPhone 4, where I took my first ever photo for Talk Seagulls, and it was a photo against Burnley at home in 2013 season. It was, I think, it was one of our first home games of that season. Yeah, we won 2-0, and I put on a post on Instagram, and then from there, I just like getting people's opinions, voicing my opinions out. Went on to Twitter, obviously a little bit more will bite you if you get it wrong, but Instagram was where I sort of found the love for doing this sort of thing. And then as I got to about 2018, I was still doing Talk Seagulls, and I was still at about 4K, 5K. Ali Reza Jahanbash, shout out to Ali. He really helped my account for followers. But no, 2018, Copper 90, people who saw that will remember they latched onto me and sort of helped me with making these sort of things, making videos. And then, from there, it's just been a mad couple of years for me personally. I'm only 19, but I've been doing some mad things, and obviously now we're on podcasts. It's absolutely
it's going in the right direction, mate. Love
you've
it.
done very well.
It's smashing it, mate.
Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that.
And finally, Ben, what about you?
Well, I'll probably say, I think starting off, I watched YouTube quite late. So I was probably in college when I started watching YouTubers, followed the classic like Joe Weller. Watched a lot of his stuff. And then I kind of thought, all right, I'm going to start learning about media studies. So done that AS level, left there to go to another college and done creative media production, like solely that. And I made like a football magazine, and I interviewed youth players around Sussex and some people like Greg Lure. He was at, where was he at? Burgess Hill or something like that, or Eastbourne. And then he got signed to go to Hull City.
Hull.
So I've done a big feature on him. And then I just thought, why not hand it into Brighton and Albion and see what they think of it? Because I interviewed some of their youngsters as well. And then they said, come into one of the press conferences. So I'd done that. And then they said, do you want to kind of work part-time? Which is brilliant. So I worked at Brighton and Albion as a media assistant part-time, as well as working at a bar in Shoreham, where I live. And then from there, I went on to True Challenge, which is like a fan engagement platform and sports challenge app. And we're also doing content creation there as well. So I just love making stuff, social media, enjoy that. Football. So it's all come together nicely.
Yeah, nice, man. Well, I
sounds like we're all sort of the same sort of thing, isn't it? Sorry, you're probably about to say the same thing. Literally, pretty much. We've all got our own. No, I think what's nice about this is that we've all got our own sort of unique sort of story on how we got here and what we want to do sort of going forward. So definitely to everyone listening, make sure that you sort of stick with us, because we're going to create some incredible content. We're going to have some exciting stuff coming. So
I'm really sort of excited to see sort of where we go with this. And then final question, because I know sort of the Q&A is taking a bit longer than we anticipated, but the final question that I'm going to pose to you guys, I'm actually just picking the best one. I'm going to go with, let's go with this one just because it's a little bit different. But as fans aren't allowed into the stadiums, which Brighton game did you wish you could have gone to this season? So, Ben, do you want to kick us off for that one? I think for me, there's only one answer, but go on, Ben.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know if we'll have the same answer.
Well, you tell us, and I agree.
Well,
go on, what's your one answer, Ben?
One answer.
Go on.
I would have.
But there's only been 3 games, to be fair.
Yeah, I would have missed it. It was Newcastle away. We've been planning on doing like a big weekend up in Newcastle, flying up there, first class, champagne on ice, hitting the town, and then hopefully watching the game. But that didn't happen, and so hopefully next year, fingers crossed again. So next year. What about you, Maz? We'll go you next.
Well, interesting, mate, because I think Ryan's going to say the same thing, but for me, it has to be Man United. Surely. It has to be the Man United.
See, I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, for me, it's Man United.
Go for your...
Yeah, for me, it's Man United. Just because of the mad stuff that happened, like with the Mopai handball at the end. As everyone probably knows as Brighton fans, if you listen to this, you know what a mad game the league game between Man United was.
Yeah, the Mopai derby, I think we should call it now.
Yeah. So
another one they're living rent free.
Yeah, but what about you, Ryan? It's interesting. You got a different one to us.
See, you guys have taken it as this season, but we haven't been in stadium since in the last season.
Very true.
So. I'm saying Arsenal all day because that Mopai last minute. Imagine if we were at that game and Mopai just scored that after Arsenal fans hating him in the first half. That would have been absolutely scenes. That's very for me, true. Arsenal every single day of the week.
It's a great angle you've gone there, Ryan.
No, I love that, and I love how we've all gone for different games as well. So,
and there's only one answer, right?
What was that? Literally, my last famous words was
last episode as well, Maz.
Yeah. Right. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that sort of Q&A with us. Hopefully you've learned a little bit more about us. But of course, every week you're going to find out more and more about us as the weeks go on. But it's a nice little introduction to find out a little bit more about us going forward. So swiftly moving on then, some big news today, or so the day of recording this, we had Zakiri signing. So a new striker. We've got obviously... he's going to be coming to the first team. We've been reliably informed by Ryan. So Ryan, can you tell us a little bit? More about Zakiri.
Let's say his nickname first, can we? Fabrizio Ryan Romano. Fabrizio Ryan Romano.
Yeah,
he's
reliably informed by the club's Twitter page on the official announcement.
Good.
To be fair to Arlen, he met this Kosovan reporter messaged me last week or the week before, sorry. And just saying, this is a done deal. He's definitely for the first team. And I was like, who? What? What's going on? And then all of a sudden it's happened. He's for the first team. There was news of him not being, but he is. So, I'm excited for it because he looks like a decent player. I mean, he's only 21, isn't he? So he's got a bit of time. We shouldn't put too much pressure on him. But, we'll see what happens. I mean, if you can score goals, you can score goals, right? So if he knows where the back of the net is, if he's got the service, he's going to tuck him away. And that's what we need.
No,
so.
For sure. I personally don't know much about him. I'm not going to front and lie and say that I've watched him and stuff like that. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I haven't watched him either.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but he's coming from the Swiss second division, and I believe he's quite a sort of like a tall, athletic forward. So I think that's something different that we need. In comparison to your Mopais and your Trossards. So I'm interested to see how he fits in. And sort of the big question then is: do you, Ben, reckon he's going to feature on Saturday? Obviously, we've got Everton on Saturday. Do you think he's going to feature? Do you reckon he'll be sort of cleared in time or not?
Well, I've heard from inside sources. And when I say inside sources, I mean inside this podcast from Ryan.
Oh my god!
I'm just gonna. I think we've got a. I think we've got a signal.
So
Ryan, are you there? Ryan, what were the latest on Zakiri playing on Saturday?
This podcast is finished. Finished on day one.
No, please. What were the details, mate?
International clearance is yet to be decided, but we'll find out in the coming days.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Breaking Brighton.
Ryan Romano told you guys first. That does take us quite nicely into the Everton game. So unfortunately, Zakiri won't be playing in the Everton game. But of course, the boys will be the other guys. So first of all, let's just kick off with you, Ryan. What do you? How do you see?
Random one.
Go on.
I love minor details on this.
Go on.
What do you think of his number 29? I like it.
Marcus Suttner.
I don't hate it.
How you think? I think of Mbappe, like first season at PSG. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
mate,
I forgot about that.
if he can replicate Mbappe, then yeah, I'm all for
Obviously,
it.
he's going to, man. Come on.
I'm pretty sure he trained Mbappe.
Yeah.
Mbappe
modelled his game on Zakiri.
Exactly. So
that's
what are we stressing about?
Yeah. So what do you reckon then, Brian? The Everton game. Obviously they're on absolute flames at the moment. I think
they are. Yeah.
6 in all comps. They're coming into Calvert-Lewin is a man possessed. So it'll be interesting how we handle him. What do you reckon, Ryan? Do you reckon we can get a result?
Yeah, it'll be a tough one. I think Ancelotti's an absolute magician. The stuff he's doing at Everton is brilliant. Yeah. I mean, they signed James as well. He's an absolute threat. He's made Calvert-Lewin better than Lewandowski. So, yeah, it's a scary one, to be honest. Like, I'm a bit worried for it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm more worried about Everton than I was for Man United, and that's saying something.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how we cope with Calvert-Lewin. Defensively, I personally believe like our defence is our greatest strength. To be honest with you, with the 3 at the back, your fullbacks bombing forward in Lamptey and
Lamptey.
March, of course, on the wings. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how Dunk, White, and Webster deal with Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, and James. So I think that's going to be the matchup I'm most looking forward to. I don't know about you, Ben, if you got any other take on it.
Yeah, we've got a few positives that have come out today, or at least this morning after the League Cup that was played yesterday. Richarlison might not feature because he took a knock, but also injured. Allen's more likely not to play. And looking at the way he's been playing in front of the defence recently, he's been that like the bulldog that's been freeing up Michael Keane and Yerry Mina, and they've had a bit more freedom defensively and a lot less pressure because of him. So with him out, hopefully we'll be able to open them up a bit more, like we have done with the previous games.
No, definitely. Like I think it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a great game. They're on absolute great form. I think we've shown that we can play with the big dogs. Like we've proven it in various games. I'm not saying. I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying Everton are still at the top level, but they're getting there. Every game I'm seeing from them, especially under Ancelotti, they're just becoming one of those sort of the big. They've always been around sort of the top 10, top 8 teams, but really to push for a top 4, top 6 position, they've sort of always faltered, and I don't know why, for various reasons. So no, I'm really looking forward to the game Saturday.
We've got to remember. Sorry, I think what we've got to remember is we're good now. We're not just going away and. But I'm thinking because we write ourselves off, but let's remember Potter's done an absolute madness for us.
Yeah.
Since last season, he's come in, he's changed us completely. We're not playing as much as I love Chris Hughton. This isn't a dig, but his style of playing in the Premier League was awful.
I agree. I think that was the biggest.
It just wasn't working.
No, definitely the biggest difference for me, like you just mentioned, is the style of playing. This sounds really bad, but I actually enjoy watching, I'm actually looking forward to Brighton games now because I know we're going to set up positively. Whereas before, sometimes under Houghton, I used to watch games and he'd set up with, really defensive structure. And I'd be like, fuck's sake, do we have to go through this again?
We're not going to Goodson Park thinking we're just going to not get something. Because, we'd tick games off, we just think we're not getting this there, not getting this. Yeah. Since we went away, we're thinking we're not getting a result away because we can't play away from home. We can only play at home.
No, definitely.
We would just park the bus and that'd be that. I think our best points come parking the bus with under Houghton. So, as I say, don't get me wrong, absolutely amazing job he did for us. Love the guy, but in the Premier League, it wasn't right because the defensive style doesn't work if you want to progress. And Potter's got us playing some football that I could never have even dreamed us playing with. Wing backs and 3 at the back and ball playing centre halves. I mean, I know Dunk's been one for ages, but Webster and now White coming through. It's exciting times, and we've got to remember, we're not what we were. So we need to maybe have a bit of confidence going into Saturday.
No, definitely. I literally couldn't have put it better myself, to be honest with you. I think it's probably it's spot on in terms of what Potter's done for us. I think he's brought us into the 21st century. He's actually brought us forward rather than I feel like sometimes with Houghton, of course, he got us promoted and he progressed us and he kept us up in the Premier League. There's no doubt in that. But I felt like a lot of games where he didn't sort of, I was like, okay, right, so you've done this, you've had a good game one game, but then he'd revert back to being negative the next game. And I'm just like, where's the progression?
Yeah.
No consistency, really.
No, exactly. And that was, for me, was the most frustrating thing. And seeing that, seeing with Potter now, like what we've done is incredible. So that brings me on to a question, actually, for both of you here.
Cool.
So with Potter, then, where do you think that the ceiling is then, Ben? Like, how far do you think Potter can take us, realistically speaking, or in your opinion, anyway?
Yeah, I think where he can take us. Well, listening to all the pundits recently from our first few games, they're saying that we've got nothing to worry about and that we should be looking at a top half finish. Where he can take us if we continue like this, because let's not forget last season, we had a hiccup after January, as we always do. But the start of the season has been unbelievable, even though we've only won one game. But we've played football, attacking football against the big teams now. Exactly. We played against Man United and Chelsea, big teams, and we took the game to them both. Last year, maybe we would have tried, but we didn't have that cutting edge, but now we do. So if we carry on like this, I can't see.
You say the cutting edge, that's debatable, isn't it?
Well, cutting edge. We're creating more chances. Let me say that. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think maybe in a couple of seasons, if we continue like this, I can't see why we won't be pushing for Europa League, Champions League final next year. Who are we going to play?
Europa League, interesting. And what about you, Ryan?
The same, really. I mean, the thing that, we signed Zakiri today, and since Ashworth's come in as well, we've got to give credit to Dan Ashworth.
Yeah, definitely.
Since he's come in, we haven't made, that I can think of, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't made a bad signing. We haven't had anyone flop or anyone be poor, and I'm going to name names, Locadia, Andone, etc. I mean, I know Andone's trying to fight back, so we'll have to see how that goes, but Locadia, he's failing out in MLS now. Yeah. We used to sign players that just really weren't it. And I think that's where we let ourselves down. And now, we signed Zakiri. He's out of nowhere. We don't really know much about him. He's 21. But, I back whoever's thought this is a good signing. And Potter said today that apparently we've watched him for a long time. So I think I put my trust in whatever they think is going to work. Yeah. And if that's who they genuinely think is going to start putting our chances away, then I believe him. So I think, Potter can take us to the next level. Probably not this season, maybe not next, but, in time, let, these players, young players, Zakiri, Lamptey, Alzate, Connolly, we've got so many young talents, just let them thrive.
It's just holding on
Alexis
to them,
McAllister as well.
Yeah,
it's just holding on to them and letting them grow.
It's been an absolute dream recently, though. Sorry, Maz. It's been an absolute dream recently. We've got all these players performing so well. I almost forgot that other teams can buy our players. So when Ryan, you sent me to think about Lamptey going to Bayern Munich, I was like, oh my god, my whole world's crashing down. Like, we had this amazing few weeks where we're the best team in the world, and now Lamptey's going. Like, God, people can actually nick these players that perform well.
That's the trouble.
No, definitely. Like, I echo what both of you said, to be honest. With Potter, I could definitely see us getting maybe not this season, maybe not even next, but I definitely think I want us to be in a position where we are consistently getting top 10 or top half finishes consistently, and not worrying about looking over our shoulders of relegation. That's where I want us to be for the next the next sort of 3-4 years, and then kick on from there. But I think we just need that sort of solidity, and we need that structure just to sort of keep us
cutting
going.
Edge as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cutting edge. So, but yeah, just final one, and then on the Everton game, then sort of rounding up. Then what do we have for predictions? Then how do we see the game going? We'll start with you, Ben. How do you see the Everton game finishing?
I was hoping you were going to say Ryan. Let's go with. We've got to be realistic here. Let's be honest. Alan's going to be out. Richarlison might not play the full 90.
Yep. Come on, mate. We need an answer.
I don't want to be negative, but 2-1 Everton.
So the X factor.
2-1. Yeah.
2-1 Everton.
2-1. All right, so you're going 2-1 Everton. We're gonna make a note of this, by the way. Everyone listening, we're gonna make a note of each score, and we're gonna review it the next pod and see how well we got it. So the next pod, obviously coming up, we'll see how well we did. So yeah, Ryan, what are you predicting?
I think anyone who's followed me on social media for an amount of time will know I'm not doing predictions. I'll let everyone else predict. I'll just say I'm not saying a prediction of score because it will just
We need
it will
it,
just
mate.
be
We
clipped
need
and
it.
I'll
mate.
be
You're
sent
on
it.
this channel.
We
Oh
need
come on!
it. We need it.
Oh
Seagulls
right.
social,
Okay.
we'll do
Let's be
predictions.
realistic. Let's be realistic. Everton are class right now. We're doing pretty well, but we can't score. So
Yeah.
I'll say 2-1. I'll say 2-1. I agree.
Okay. So
To
2-1.
Everton,
So we got
not to us.
Yeah. So we got 2-1 Everton, 2-1 Everton from both of you. I'm going to go and sit right bang in the middle of the fence and say 1-1. I think it's going to be a score draw, 1-1. So yeah, we're going to break.
see.
We're going to break
I'll
their
take
winning
that.
streak. I think.
James
yeah,
Rodriguez scares me. I'm not gonna lie.
He's incredible, and his CV speaks for itself. So, but no, I think it's going to be a great game, whatever the result. But we'll see. We'll see next week, boys, who is correct. If any of us are correct, we might even get a win. You
Probably
never
not.
know. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Right. Well, there you go. That is the end of the pod. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed it. I really appreciate you guys sending your Q&A questions as well. And of course, like I said, you're going to be learning more about us as we go on. But yeah, make sure you follow us up on all our socials. So that's Seagulls Social on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter as well. So yeah, make sure you go and follow us to see all the content we put out there. So, and final thing from us as well. So the next pod, we've actually got a chap called Joe Gilmore. I don't know if you guys on Twitter may know him as Gilology. He's a bit of a meme. Well, I call him a meme maker. So we're going to be having him on the next pod, and he's a massive
absolute
Everton
meme
fan.
head. Mate,
Yeah,
meme
he's a meme head. So yeah, he's going to be on the pod next show. So yeah, he's a great character, big Everton fan. So it'll be interesting to see. So we're actually going to speak to him after the Everton game. So it's going to be an interesting one. So make sure you tune in to the next pod. And yeah, signing off. So Ben, any last words on the first pod? How do you feel it's gone?
Yes, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. What I will say,
It doesn't sound very convincing actually, but yeah,
no, I
a bit
did.
more enthusiasm, please, mate.
I enjoyed it.
It
It was
I
alright.
loved it.
It was okay.
It's been great fun. But what I will say,
Could have been eating dinner.
when we play Everton, have a look at how small Carlo Ancelotti is. Didn't realise he was that small. The bloke's like 5'9". I thought he was.
It's not tall.
All right, mate.
thought he was
Let's
over
not get
6
high
foot.
into it. Let's not get high into it because I'm a short man myself. So
I
can we
know,
not have
but
any
just
slander against
final
Spike,
words.
please?
Final words from Ben. Carlo Ancelotti is small. Just
Okay.
remember that.
Nice. Thanks,
Ryan.
Ben. And Ryan.
Final words. I can't say Carlo Ancelotti's small because I'm 5'8" myself. So
Jesus.
Short gang. Love it.
up the Albion.
Yeah, up the
Up
Albion.
the Albion.
No, yeah. Hope you
Let's
guys
see how
enjoyed it,
goes.
and we'll see you next week.